Alright, boys and girls, in this tutorial I'll talk about how I approach clothing for this guy. He's a part of my Mod World series, one of the important guys, executives that are running the operations. And while I did the sculpt inside ZBrush because I'm still used to the uh, organic type modeling in ZBrush, all the clothing has been done in 3D code and it was really easy. So this is the model inside 3D code, and you can see I really like the materials here as well. They're pretty close to what I got in the end. So I've changed a few parts here and there, but even this is like not my final save. So I had this like plastic or glossy leather part. I changed to one of the materials that are more like texture type. Okay, here I'm in shaders preset. I switched to sculpt, and in fabric I just switch it to something that, yeah, this is pretty much what I used for my guy. Just one of those materials. Keyshot, I ran it in Keyshot, so Keyshot had the same thing, almost the same material. Well, let's start with the basics, right? So this is my base mesh that I've created from a body in ZBrush, but essentially what I did, I had a body and I just started to smooth it out until I would get something that would resemble some clothing on top. You might add a bit more volume, so it won't have an appearance like it's sitting on top, like there is no other undercloth. And I started to get some pretty cool face. Okay, I don't want to sculpt here, but anyway, so you can model this type of thing in Maya. Just do a polygonal base, and that's how we start. So this whole thing is all about voxel height. So keep this mesh as a backup, then duplicate it, hide some stuff. So and I want to make the shoulder pads, right? So I'll just okay, switch to vox height, and I start to hide it. So in that case, I always have my, I can press Control and unhide all my bits. And then I can also press smooth it out, F12, smooth it out and create my shoulder part, which is not visible here. It's going to be visible here. Yep, that's a shoulder seam. Then we have this mesh. Let's create a collar, and it didn't do it. Okay, it's wrong layer. Switch to right layer. Okay, some of the stuff has been done. Kind of, okay, that's like a color approximation, right? Let's put some proper materials that will be helpful here. And for the most part, I've been doing a lot of hiding and unhiding. One of the big notes, I'd say big problems with voxel hide in 3D code is when you duplicate a model, it doesn't actually remember anything that's been hidden. So if I try to unhide it, I cannot do it. I'm pressing Ctrl and unhiding it, but it's all kind of been destroyed. So that's something really big to remember about Voxel, that if you clone it, then all your hidden polygons are going to be destroyed. So you always have to go back to your base mesh and duplicate it, and then hide parts. So I have this diagonal piece right here, right? So to create that, I'll just turn off the symmetry. I have this guy. would duplicate it. I would duplicate him, even knowing that I would destroy a bit of all my shoulder parts. But I really won't really need those guys. So I'm hiding the back to create a seam later. For example, I can now just move it slightly up front. Nope. Or up. It's kind of a cheap way of doing the seam. Within the pads. And then I would switch to one of those. Oh no, this one. This guy. Diagonal cut tool. And I would just cut this guy out. Right. So I can change the color of change the material, and you can immediately start seeing the results. Let's find something like something bright and easy to understand. So then I can duplicate it, and remember all my polygons have been deleted again. And then I can, for example, unhide a part of it here. Let's say, for example, I want to make color green. Right, green is awful. I'll go to polymer and make it glossy, right? And I move it slightly backwards. Right. So now I've created this stripe. And this is really the easy way where you can cut and cut and cut and work with different types of shapes, and it becomes more of a graphic design. Another feature is the Voxel layer. For example, the way I created the collar here, and the back, not the back, but the white collar, not the white shirt. It was by using the Voxel layer function. So I'll just I turn it on, so I have my head right here, and let's go and draw it right. And it does like a projection. It doesn't go through the whole face, so we have to be sure that you cover it all around. Right. Then a couple of things that are really important to remember is when you do extrusion, create it as surface, because if you do the auto voxelize, first of all, it tends to take a long time to voxelize it. Then it creates you a really rugged shape that you have to recreate and redo, like really make it a surface and then turn into voxels. It will make your life so much easier. And hit apply. Okay. So I'll do that. So you can see here I have the layer offset. It means that it will go and penetrate the mesh. I don't know why I made it. It's probably settings from another extrude. And thickness is self-explanatory. So again, I hit apply. I get the really nice clean mesh that I can then go and smooth it, make it more like a standalone collar. But of course, it kind of doesn't really look like a collar because it's just goes all around it. So what you might want to do is have the selection on. It's a bit of a bug of a 3D code. Sometimes it creates this mask out of your extrusion, so I have to go into pose and do deselect. I have some hotkeys for that, but it's always bugs me out. So what I've done, I've created a copy of the head, which I then will use as the kind of a dummy to project on top. So I just do this, smooth it out. Then I do the Vox layer, hit apply, there you go. Hide that. Come on. It doesn't want to clear selection. Okay, I had the wrong mesh picked that I tried to clean. So you can see I've now got some separation in space between the original model because I created a dummy model and extruded from that. And to create something more complicated, the more complicated color, it's actually pretty intense and time consuming. It's if you want to make a proper color, it's really way easier to model it in these polygons in traditional modeling package. And I've created the color space around there just by cutting out that space. So I have this gray base mesh, and I would go and cut it right like that, but then I'll cut it just from the top. Takes a fair amount of precision to get it right. Yeah, you get it kind of like that, but then it's way too thick and you want to cut it around. Yep, so that's more or less like what I've done. And I've redone it now a number of times, and obviously I'm trying to make it really quick as fast as I can, so it's all slightly dirty, but not too bad. And I think I'll hide everything else. Then I can use a split function, which creates you a little piece right there that you can modify. And for the split function to work properly, you want to change the split border in the top. You want to make it like 0.5, 0.2. So you can create some stripes that you might want to use any way you want. And these metals on this guy, they've been created using the layer extrude. Sorry, not Vox layer, not Vox extrude, but Vox layer. And I switched to the circle selection. About right, and press the button, and you get those really fast and really easy. To make them perfectly right, you might consider going and creating a stencil. Actually, I think I've used this stencil. Yes, I've used this stencil. You see, the problem with this stencil, though, I'm not sure why, but it creates this jagged edge that you don't really get if you just draw a circle. So you might just want to, if you do it using your eye, you can just try to make it close to the existing circle. Just then press space and carry it over and make another circle. So it's of course not really a precision mode thing, but for certain types of little pieces and metals and such, you don't really need to overdo it. So those were all the tools that I've used, and they help to create a whole bunch of different variations. Like I had original design was like that and like that. Here I used the stencil and I cut out all these parts and just smoothed it out and got this pattern. Then this guy, you can see I would apply different materials to different cuts. Again, this guy was bit closer to the final version, but he really looked like a Star Trek captain, so I decided that nah, not really working out for me. But you can see all this, so I had a lot of meshes that had been duplicated from the base mesh, which I just cut, applied a different material, moved them slightly up, front or back, and got it. So then I did some keyshot tests with different materials, different combinations, trying to find what's looking better. So I was thinking a lot about using the shiny leather or less shiny style, less shiny clothing, and decided to go for less shiny. And I really done like 50 or 60 variations of this particular suit, changing parts, adding things. So in this case, Recall gives you a lot of freedom with cutting and modifying. It's no way Marvelous Designer, and Marvelous Designer is another great tool which you'd use for different purpose, I think, because Marvelous Designer takes more time to modify your shapes. Alright, so that was the description of the tools I used to create this suit. If you have any questions, just ask me on comments, and see you next week.